Why Black Adam, the Dwayne Johnson movie, fails. The actor had wanted for a decade to bring the DC Comics anti-hero to the movies. It was his dream, but the film makes us sleepy. Maybe it was a marketing ploy. They saw the finished film, it didn't convince them, and the leaked Black Adam post-credit scene came in handy to advertise the new DC Comics film. It is that the film has twists, not many, it is true, but the plot of this DC Comics production is not as convoluted as some of the Marvel cons. The problem lies elsewhere. Black Adam doesn't start badly. There is a voiceover that situates us, and that is how we learn that in the Middle East, around the year 2500 BC, a king ruled in Kahndaq, who was more than a king, a tyrant. You already know that dictators for Hollywood live from Ecuador to the south, and Latin America, and if not, in the Middle East, since time immemorial. The truth is that the guy has his slaves digging and digging like Snow White's dwarfs to extract a strange mineral, Eternium. The name makes it easier for us to look for it. With this mineral, a crown of supernatural powers can be made. Faced with so much tyranny, a council of wizards or something like that decides that the hero, Taith Adam, who can save the people from him is a child, who destroys the palace and ends up buried, also him, and the crown. I abbreviate them, because they don't have popcorn on hand, and no, it's not the same. The anti-hero, because he is not a hero from the start, will wake up almost 5,000 years later. Already in the 21st century, Dwayne Johnson neither Black Adam nor Shazam, which has a lot to do with history, fights for more than a decade to bring his favorite DC Comics anti-hero to the movies. And he does it. Good. Good for him. Dreams come true. Perhaps what is not met are the expectations of the public. But since there's an audience, there's profit. Maybe the movie will rake in enough to convince executives to make the movie that, 2, Dwayne Johnson wants, one in which Black Adam takes on Man of Steel, Superman. That would be another story. The one that concerns us today has Johnson as a character of incredible strength, who can fly and destroy whatever he wants with his superpowers. He is surrounded by other super-powerful boys, who are good and others who are bad. There is a gang, pardon the term, called the Justice Society of America, in which as a recognizable face for the adult generations is the former James Bond Pierce Brosnan. Well, Brosnan and his crew are the good guys who think Adam is doing the wrong thing. But not. Either they skipped a few pages of the script, which would have been nice, or they'll figure out in time who they need to help. Dwayne Johnson isn't the worst of Black Adam, because he's the only thing on screen, a lot of the time, most of the time. Perhaps he does have part of the blame or responsibility for giving the green light to an immature script. His director in Jungle Cruise, the Catalan Jaume Collet-Serra, perhaps felt that he should direct Black Adam as if he were another emerged from a Disney amusement park attraction. But hey, Dwayne fulfilled his dream. For the second, we will have to wait and see how Black Adam does at the international box office. Surely he will fulfill his second wish. Now we review the list of characters in the film. All the heroes of the movie Black Adam that you should know. Black Adam is about to be released and change the DC Extended Cinematic Universe. Which includes, of course, introducing a group of new characters that promise to swell the new stage of the franchise. Black Adam could become the film that provides a necessary breath of fresh air to the DC Extended Cinematic Universe. At least, that is the implicit promise in this great experiment that has Dwayne Johnson as the protagonist. From the origin story of a complex character, to a whole new take on the world of superheroes from the publisher. Jaume Collet-Serra's film will explore the publishing world of DC at a new level, and especially through the lens of a series of stories in full expansion. Which includes, of course, a whole host of new characters that are part of the Black Adam context. This is a risky move, particularly because the anti-hero is little known beyond the comic. But the project seems to have enough strength and, especially, a peculiar look at Warner's superhero franchise to get through the obstacle without problems. Beyond its condition as the setting for a renewed stage of the DC franchise, it is also a journey through its publishing history. We tell you what are the traditional characters that Black Adam will bring to the big screen and his future implications. Specifically, in the way of analyzing the DC expanded universe in a journey that has a lot to offer for a promising future. Albert Rothstein, aka the Atom Smasher, had his first major appearance in All-Star Squadron number 25 in September 1983. He is a curious figure at whom an illustrious genealogy within DC publishing converges. In a way, he belongs to a second generation of superheroes, which adds layers of interest to his personality. Also, he goes through a curious context of contradictions as the grandson of the supervillain known as Cyclotron. In fact, it is through this peculiar family line that Albert obtains his metahuman powers. And if that wasn't enough, he's the godson of Al Pratt, the Atom of the publisher's golden age. The character has the ability to increase his size, in addition to having the attribute of super strength. Atom Smasher first met Black Adam when the anti-hero became a part of the Justice Society of America. The two forged a long and lasting friendship, which is likely to be reflected in the plot of the future film. Dr. Fate. This character is perhaps one of the most curious of DC, and his arrival on the big screen sums up a long journey on paper. Authored by Gardner Fox and Howard Sherman, he first appeared in More Fun Comics number 55, May 1940. He draws his power from the Nabu helmet, which actually gives its wearer the gifts associated with the Babylonian god of same name. Dr. Fate, in fact, is the common name for 8 different characters who have worn the suit at different times in the hero's history. From Kent Nelson and Enza Nelson to his alternate version Khaled Ben Hassan on Earth 2. The character has come a long way on paper and possibly in the live-action version of him. Especially, being one of the founders of the Justice Society of America. Among his abilities are creating and casting spells, flying, super strength, invulnerability, and pyrokinesis. As seen in the trailer for Black Adam, the hero will fully show his abilities in the upcoming premiere. Maxine Hunkel aka Cyclone is, just like Albert Rothstein, part of a distinguished line of superheroes. She is the granddaughter of Red Tornado, also known as Abigail Matilda, Ma Hunkel, from whom she inherits her powers. The character made her first appearance in Justice Society of America Volume 3 Number 1, 2006. It is the work of artists Mark Waid, Alex Ross, Jeff Johns, and Dale Eaglesham. With prodigious metahuman qualities, she has the ability to manipulate and direct the wind, as well as use gusts as a tool and weapon, which allows him, through the power of her mind, to create cyclones and whirlwinds, as well as fly. In the same way as Black Adam, Hawkman is a traditional character in the DC publishing house. He debuted in Flash Comics number 1 in January 1940, penned by Gardner Fox and Dennis Neville. Like Dr. Fate, he also uses magical items to gain his powers. In addition, he has been reincarnated on successive occasions since his creation. Carter Hall, the first Hawkman, has a curious story behind him. In his first incarnation, in ancient Egypt, Prince Khufu found himself in conflict with the priest Hathset. So much so that the latter conspired against him and persecuted him. In the end, he managed to kill him, offering him, along with his lover Cheera, as a sacrifice to the god Anubis. Shortly before he died, the prince swore that he would return for revenge. A spell that ended up condemning the trio of characters to an endless cycle of coming back to life to stage the tragic story over and over again. In the traditional version of him, he was born Hall in 1910. The version of him in the movie Black Adam is expected to be a reimagining of the original story of him. In addition to the ability to fly under his own power, Hall is a pilot of considerable skill. He also possesses tools and artifacts forged from nth metal. The substance is considered the most powerful in the DC universe. About the post-credit scene. Who is that character that we could see at the end of Black Adam? Here is the answer, but yes, beware of spoilers. Black Adam hit theaters in different parts of the world, and fans of DC Comics characters couldn't feel happier, as this is the first DCU work in a long time. On the other hand, considering the turbulent history that Warner Brothers has suffered in recent months, the arrival of this film comes as a double miracle. The truth is that, as expected, it is a product up to the task, and in this sense, its post-credit scene could not be left behind. We will not gut the general plot of the film, as it is well worth seeing for yourself. However, we believe that knowing his post-credit scene, even though it is a spoiler, could make you quite happy, especially if you are a fan of DC Comics movies. Now, let's get to the topic. After the film, we can see Black Adam on the screen. Suddenly a drone appears from which the holographic image of Amanda Waller, the director of operations of the task force and Argus, emerges, who warns Dwayne Johnson's character not to turn against the Earth, as he will not hesitate to use all his strength to stop it. The anti-hero replies that there is no one in this world capable of defeating him, to which Waller only replies that she will then be forced to face him with someone who is not from this planet. And boom! Descending like a god, his cape billowing through the mist, comes Superman, played by Henry Cavill, who shares a word or two with Black Adam before the credits roll. The scene itself is quite literal, however what's important about it is the possibilities it offers. For starters, it warns viewers that Henry Cavill is back, and considering that Ben Affleck as Batman was also revealed to be rejoining the DCEU, we can imagine that a new Justice League lineup could emerge sooner than we imagined. Finally, this scene also portends an explosive battle between the two most powerful beings in all of the DCEU, one we've been dying to see. And were you expecting the return of the Man of Steel played by Henry Cavill in the DCEU? A second part in plans? The first film has already been released and viewers are liking it so much that they are already planning Black Adam 2. Actor Dwayne Johnson has just joined the DCEU as one of the greatest anti-heroes in comics. This has been thanks to a long preparation and production process, because the project took a long time to get going. Now, one only needs to know if the viewers will flock to see the film, even though it is receiving good marks. For example, in Rotten Tomatoes it has 89%. That's why the producers have already revealed that Black Adam 2 won't cost as much to make. In a recent interview, producers Hiram Garcia and Beau Flynn have confirmed that they will make Black Adam 2. Beau Flynn, don't worry. Hiram Garcia, the second will be faster. It won't take that long. I promise you. We always hope that the first domino is the easiest. We'll do it fast, that's for sure. Beau Flynn, we'll open the magic wagon, we'll have the script ready, pretty quickly. It will probably take a few months to find out how the movie fares at the box office for Black Adam 2 to get off the ground. But it is good news that they already have a sequel in mind. The film has hit theaters with a shocking post-credits scene where the protagonist is with Superman. So Black Adam 2 should start from that point, as it's pretty epic stuff. But also, he should have a great confrontation against Shazam, another DC Comics character who is about to release his sequel and who usually has battles against him in the comics, since they are great rivals. In addition, there are already some rumors that they could do a spin-off of the Justice Society, since they are very interesting heroes that will surely become very popular from now on. Do you want to see the first installment? Would you like them to make Black Adam 2? Leave us your comments below in the opinion section.